28 and I'm trying to shape history. Pulling from the sky for some strength to take with me. Line up the stars, fly away quickly and push the world forward like a tidal wave hit me. I ride the wave swiftly, I fear no man, check my titles mate quickly. Came from the sky with the light of day in me, and grew my own wings so the pilot came with me.
Aye. We good? Oh, the ongoing antics I have with my cameraman are just incredible. Still refuses to show me the red light when we're filming, so I have zero idea whether we're rolling or not. G'day guys, welcome to another Ask Jack. So good to see you again. I'm really liking doing these every single day, and the volume of questions that are now coming through are absolutely spot on. So thank you for contributing to this show and making it what it is. As you guys know, you can always hit me up on Twitter at Delosa. Ask me any questions. Use the hashtag AskJackD. I can't believe I just did handle and hashtag without stuffing up either of them. Usually when it comes to Twitter technicalities, that's where I trip up. Say that after 6 beers. Twitter technicalities, that's where I trip up. But the questions are coming through at a really good volume, guys. We have a lot of questions to answer today. I'm answering questions from 3 legends from our community, so let's get into it. The first one's from Natalie Jane, who says, Jack, how do you measure success on a personal level? How do you know when you, not your business, are successful? Hashtag AskJackD. Natalie, firstly, good to hear from you. I know you've been following and contributing and conversing with me for a very long time, so thank you for doing that. How do I know if I'm successful personally? For me, it comes down to the 2 P's. The first P would be purpose, right? I believe anybody that comes called. I believe that we are all here with a purpose. And I don't necessarily think that we come necessarily with that purpose like it's written. I actually think we decide on what that purpose is. And to me, a fulfilled life is a life on purpose. So the more aligned my actions and my life and my businesses and the people around me, the more aligned all of that is to what I view as my purpose, which is to help push civilization forward through better education. The more aligned everything is to that, the more fulfilled and happy and successful I feel, I suppose. The second P is progress. You know, and not necessarily just progress for self, although that's really super important, but also progress for our mission and what we're trying to achieve. Our vision is to push civilization forward through better education. Our mission, which is a company-centered goal that we fight for every day, is to be the world's #1 education institution for entrepreneurs. So we want to help society progress. We want to, you know, in the relatively immediate term, help the education industry progress. I obsess daily over how to be a better leader for my team, right? Leadership and contribution to the people around me is kind of where I live, through leadership and impact, right? They're the 2 things I'm always obsessing about, or leadership and legacy, I should say. So helping people to become the best versions of themselves around me, so helping see them progress as individuals and growing into their best selves. Purpose and progress is how I would define success. Just as by the by, before we go on to the next question, it's definitely not money, right? I was just speaking upstage, having an open day today at our Entrepreneur Development Centre in Sydney, and I was saying, even if you think you're in business for money, you're not. It is never about money, and the pursuit of finance is empty at best and hollow at worst. When you can get beyond that and identify what it is you are actually pursuing, what it is you are actually creating, what that path or that purpose means for you, you will become a far more powerful individual, a far more powerful leader, and the degree to which you live on purpose and progress will, increase exponentially, right? So it's never about money. Purpose, progress. Thank you for the question, Natalie. Question number 2 comes from Mel and Steve Rebenak, who says, Jack, how do you make a decision that if the decision is guaranteed to grow your business, but maybe morally irresponsible? I'm assuming this is Mel asking the question. I don't know why I'm assuming that. I think I might have chatted to you, Mel, a couple of times over Twitter, so maybe that's where I'm getting that from. However, the answer is this: don't do it. Business is about the long game, right? It takes decades to build a reputation. I'll say that again. Decades to build a reputation. Minutes to ruin it. It's so critically important that you are of the certain character, and genuinely, I don't mean like on the surface level in the videos or on the stage or whatever, a certain way of being. I mean genuinely at a character level, you have a certain way of being that is absolutely integral, absolutely honest. You do the right thing by everybody, including yourself. and you emanate that energy out to the world. That will build something with a very strong foundation and very strong infrastructure, rather than taking quick wins that might be morally irresponsible. So play the long game, define what is true within your model of the world and within your model of integrity, and always stay on the path of what is morally responsible and right. Question number 3 comes from Men's Style Power, who says, mate, organic growth seems to be overrun with brand buying fans. How can brand integrity battle this behaviour? Really good question, and sort of tails on to the answer I just gave. Brands can buy fans, right? But to what degree are those fans engaged? You can see, there's thousands of Facebook pages or communities out there with like 500,000 people. But when they post something, it's got like 30 likes and 2 comments. Whereas if you've got another community over here with 5,000 followers and they're getting 90 likes and 108 comments and all that sort of stuff, that brand that has the 5,000 engaged fans is better off from a reach perspective, from a marketing perspective, from a brand perspective, from a company performance perspective, is better off than the brand that just bought 500,000 fans and looks good, right? Buying fans, in my view of the world, is a vanity metric. The real metric is the relationship that you hold with your audience. That's why we do stuff like this, because I love speaking to you guys and conversing with you guys through dialogue, right? Every single day. So there's a genuine, meaningful, authentic, honest human connection going on, which pays far more dividends, and I don't mean financially, far more dividends, well that too, than buying fans as a one-off and trying to get some numbers up because it looks good to the manager that you're trying to impress, right? Be here for the long game, stick to your guns, stick to what works for you, and be unapologetically you all of the time. Jan Owen, questioning my shirt. We had this discussion a long time ago that there are generational differences at play and that my fashion sense is very different to your fashion sense. So thank you for the question, but I will be continuing to wear that blue shirt that I do love so much. That's about it. Is that it?
Yeah,
It's done.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jan Owen. I love you.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Andy.
Andy. Let's get Andy. Next meeting.
You're doing camera anymore.
No, I am. He doesn't stop recording. It just keeps going. So that it gets me in my finest of moments.
We need to create a hashtag for all the fashion haters.
We do. Hashtag fashion haters. Well, yeah. I am the first. My fashion sense is not great. That's why I have people that help me a lot in that department, both buying and dressing and wearing. Not my gig, fortunately enough. Gresha is loving how much footage he is getting of me talking absolute shit. It's a good day, Gresh. Are you happy? You're just living the dream, aren't you? It's what you do. It's how we roll. Okay, this next meeting is actually going to be exciting, which we should include this in the video. This next meeting is to meet with our designer, our full-time in-house designer, Mr. Andy, to talk about starting to design the next cover and jacket of my next book called Legacy, which is about the art and science of making the world a better place. So, I'm talking about you. Say hello to 80,000 entrepreneurs.
Hello, 80,000 entrepreneurs.
80,000 entrepreneurs. This is Andy. Andy, I'm just singing your praises, saying that we're about to sit down and talk about the beginning of the design of the next book.
I'll just absorb.
Here's the thing. I wrote UnProfessional in 4 days, which was fast, but I kind of had to, or else it wouldn't have gotten written. Whereas with Legacy, I am taking more like 4 months. I'm doing this one like properly and researching the hell out of a lot of different things. And basically looking at how the greats of history have changed the course of history forever, be it Einstein, Mandela, Oprah, Jobs, Branson. Looking at these people, Michelangelo, you go, what did they do throughout their life? How did they live their life and set up their world in such a way that enabled them to get so much out of themselves and to touch the hearts and minds of so many people around the world, to move toward one common vision? Because I think that the principles that enabled, whether it's Michelangelo who was painting the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel 500 years ago, or Einstein who was rewriting physics 100 years ago, or Jobs who was redefining technology 10 years ago, I believe that the principles and the formulas that they all follow to create such an impact and such a legacy and such a lasting change on the planet are the exact same principles and the exact same inputs that enable somebody to have a similar degree of change in the world today, whether that's large change, small change, change within yourself, your family, your community, your country, or the world at large. You decide the size, but the principles are the same. So legacy is looking at all of that, and that's what I mean this great man to talk about in terms of how do we communicate that visually, because when it comes to anything visual, I am not the guy. He's the guy. Andy is in the building. You! All right, let's actually stop recording now.
Just a kid, chill. 'Cause I'm lining